It is not really the best day to be outside because it's about to rain, but for the cozy vibes that I'm looking for, I feel like this is the perfect time. I am on like a busier area, so I think that I'm gonna walk to an area that's a little more quiet. You guys can see or hear all the cars that are like going past, but I love this park because it has just like the coziest autumn vibes. So I wanted to come out here to like pick my book, and then I'm gonna walk to like a secluded area of this park. I think that I'm gonna start The Silent Waters by Brittany Cherry, mostly just because this book, even though the cover doesn't give fall, I feel like the vibe of the book gives fall. All the books that I've read so far in the Elements series are very like heartfelt, deep. They like make you cry, super emotional. So I think that I'm gonna start with this. This whole week I'm gonna be reading fall books that are like emotional, make me cry, give me all the feels. I'm in the mood for that. I don't know if anyone else is. So I think I'm gonna start with this. And I also was saying in the last vlog that I feel like I'm kind of just like teeter-tottering into a book slump, that I've never been in one before, and I know how to stay out of one. But one of the things I do to stay out of book slumps is make sure I'm reading books that are like very fast-paced and like hook me, and her books always do that. So I think I'm gonna start with this book first, but let's walk over to somewhere that's like a little bit more quiet. One of you guys told me I should get a mic, and I'm thinking maybe I should because it is just so windy, and it gets so windy in the Midwest. But the reason why I don't want to get a mic is because I feel like I like immediately freeze up when I'm just like holding a mic. I don't know what it is about it, so hopefully you guys can hear me. But I have all of these books. These are all by Black authors. I have changed up my TBR for November like so much. Like if you watch my TBR video, the books here are so different. Like they're like, I feel like a totally new person. I don't know, I just feel like a big part of why I switched up my TBR, and I said this on the podcast if you guys listen to my podcast, is because I did not add in really any Christmas books. So I wanted to add in more Christmas books, and then I also didn't really add in a ton of books from other genres. So I want to add in Luster. Yes, I know I picked this up from the library and didn't read it, but I still am in the mood to read it, so I ended up just like buying it so that I can have it for myself. It looks like a good read, heard great things about it. It's contemporary fiction. And then I also have 2 historical fictions. This was already on my TBR, but I added Take My Hand because I was planning on reading it last month and didn't end up reading it. And then I also have some romances. So I had this on my TBR, but this is a arc and it doesn't come out until December, or maybe I didn't have it on there. I can't remember if I did or not, but I definitely want to read it before December, which is when it comes out. So if I'm going to read this, I have to read this, you know what I mean? Because this comes before it. So I finished The Fire Between High and Low, which is the second book in this series. I finished it in a day, so I feel like I'll finish both of these books really fast. And then I also have Revive Me, which I think was on my TBR. But not only have I changed up these books that are diverse reads, I've also changed up like all the other books on my TBR. So I'll show you guys that whenever I get back to the house because it is so different. But I'm going to sit outside and read. I brought all these books out because I just wanted to show you guys like all the books and changes on my TBR, and then I'll show you guys the other half when I'm at home. This one looks like it's going to be a good read, but really the biggest reason I'm starting with it is because it looks like it's going to be emotional, and it comes before The Gravity of Us, and I want to read that before it actually comes out in December, so I figured this made the most sense. I got so scared whenever I was like reading this book because I immediately, after reading the first chapter, thought this was gonna be like a stepson, stepdaughter situation or a son, stepdaughter situation. It is not, thankfully, because I do not like that trope. I feel like a lot of people enjoy that, where it's like if you're foster siblings or like adopted sibling or something, like, you know, the girl or the guy comes into another family and then they end up falling in love. I don't like that, because to me, I don't feel like family is just like people that you have like the same blood with, you know what I mean? I truly feel like you can have family with people who are like step whatever, and it just feels so weird to me when I read books when it's like I fell in love with him, you know what I mean? So this book starts out, I've only read the first chapter, but like I read it really, really fast. Starts out where a girl is moving in with like this other family, and her dad is too. And you kind of get the vibe that like maybe the dad gets like a lot of, I don't know if he gets like a lot of girlfriends or if he's like someone who just kind of hops around. I don't really know like what his deal is, but you kind of get the vibe that they're not really normally settled. So they're moving in like in the first chapter with this other family, and they have a part where the mom, she's like yelling at these two boys who are like playing a video game or something, and she's like trying to introduce the main character, like girl, to these guys. And I was like, oh my God, she's gonna introduce like them, and her son's gonna like instantly fall in love with her or something when he looks at her. Thankfully, that was not the case. It was the son and the neighbor who was playing the video game, which is the main like love interest in this. And I can tell because on the back it says like Brooks, it talks about Brooks Griffin. And in the book, Brooks Griffin is the neighbor. So, whew, bullet dodged. I feel much better about this book. Not that I ever dislike Brittany Cherry's books. I always love them. But that definitely like threw me for a loop. I picked up some stuff from the Apple Barn, as you guys saw. I ended up getting this salsa because this is our first week where we're adding back in vegetables. We're gonna add in fruit next week. So right now we're eating like purely like meat and like anything that comes from like an animal, so like dairy. We're not eating cheese just because I feel like cheese is so processed that it's really hard to find anything that's like truly like, you know, like I have read so much about how in a lot of cheese that is shredded, they have to put like so many different things in it to keep it from like mashing together. Like think about it, like why does shredded cheese not clump together? Like, but if you get a like cheese block and you use a cheese grater, it like immediately starts clumping together. And I just don't like that. I don't like that. Like I don't know what I'm eating. I think that's gross. So we just like have kind of stayed away from cheese just because I feel like, again, there's just so much stuff in a lot of cheeses to keep it like, you know, able to be sold on the shelves. But we're adding back in vegetables this week. Really excited about that. So the first meal I'm gonna make tomorrow is a roast. And I got this salsa, and this is from the Apple Barn, and on the front it says the only thing that's in it is tomatoes, onions, jalapeno peppers, vinegar, spices, and salt. And this is made in Virginia, Illinois, which is like an hour from here. So it was really nice to see that they have like local like produce in there and like products and stuff. And then I got the roast from in there as well. This thing is huge. And this is one that I think is theirs, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It has like their like name on it. It just says Apple Barn Beef Chuck Roast. So, and I know all their stuff is like made from local like businesses, or it's either like from them. So I'm gonna make a roast tomorrow. I'm gonna add in like carrots. And I don't think I'm gonna add in potatoes, but I think I'll add in like maybe celery, like, you know, just the veggies like that you normally put in roast. I can't even think of like what I normally would put in it, but I'm excited to make that. I think I'm gonna read more tonight, probably keep you guys posted on my thoughts on this as I read, just because I feel like Brittany Cherry's books always get me hooked immediately. Like I read a chapter so fast, but it started getting so dark outside, which is just like, oh, such a bummer. It's getting dark so fast, and I don't like it. I genuinely don't like it. Like it is pitch black outside, and it's like right at 5 o'clock on a Sunday. But I'm gonna make tacos, and I make the tacos with like a tortilla that's like chicken breast flour, and then I'm gonna put this salsa on top of it, so it should be really good. So I'm gonna make for dinner tonight. And then I'm gonna read, and I'm really excited just to relax. I will say that when it starts to get darker, I definitely cozy up more in the house. So nights like tonight, I feel like it's perfect to get cozy, like light a candle, turn on some jazz music and that kind of thing. So it should be a very cozy night. I'm about to dive deep into this book, but I want to open a package with you guys before I like dive into it. This is a bookish package, and I don't even remember what this is, but I thought it'd be fun to do like a little book mail, like book haul thing. What is this? Oh my gosh. Fortune's Kiss by Amber Clement. Welcome to Fortune's Kiss, where you can attain your wildest dreams with the price of admission may be your life. Never heard of this. I'm assuming that someone sent this my way. Dear reader, I'm incredibly excited to share my debut novel, Fortune's Kiss, with you when Electric Postcard Entertainment presented me with the concept of a deadly game in which the cards use their magic to challenge the players. I knew it was fate. And I'm not sure where this came from, but this is very sweet that they sent this to me. You guys know I'm not much of a fantasy reader, so I might send this on to a bestie. But I am always so grateful whenever I get these. I don't ever like ask for like books really, or like ARCs or anything. I've just been getting, I don't know how people like get my address honestly, because I don't have like a P.O. box, but I've been getting a lot of packages lately. The last one I got was from Disney Books, which I have worked with them before, so maybe that's like how they got my address. But this is really sweet. It says on the back, are you willing to risk everything for a chance to be kissed by fortune? Drink and let your soul be measured. And this is by Amber Clement. I love seeing authors like write their first books, just because it's like, I don't know, I imagine that like if I were ever write a book one day, that like I would put my heart and soul into it, and I would just want people to feel that when they read it. So very, very exciting. Again, I'm not a huge fantasy reader. Like I just have read like literally a handful, like 4 or 5. So I might give this to a bestie, but really excited that someone sent that to me. I am going to start getting into this a little bit more. Again, I'm only on the first chapter, and then I like came home and had to do like adulting stuff, like laundry, dishes, dinner, things like that. But now that I've kind of like settled for the day, I'm going to get into this. Tomorrow, I think we're going to go to the Dollar Tree to go book shopping. One of you guys actually gave me that idea, and I just think that that would be like the coolest thing, because I have no idea what kind of books they have in the Dollar Tree. Literally none. Just because I've never looked. I feel like I've been to the Dollar Tree like when I was a kid, and I just like didn't ever look at the adult books. So we're gonna go in and see what they have. It could be terrible. Like, it actually could be the worst selection we've ever seen, but it could also be good. And like, you know, it's a dollar store. So I thought about going to maybe Dollar General instead of Dollar Tree, but I was like, let's try Dollar Tree first because it's only $1. And then if we go to Dollar Tree and see something there, it's like, okay, Dollar General will probably have something, but if we don't, it's like, maybe Dollar General won't. But it'll be kind of cool to see what's in there. So I'm gonna read for the rest of the night and I'll give you guys a little update tomorrow, probably when we're heading to the little store. I'm very close to getting Divine Rivals, but I just don't know if I'm gonna like it because I am not a fantasy girly. I have heard that if you don't really enjoy Powerless, you usually like Divine Rivals. But I don't know, I don't know. I'm not a big fantasy girly, and you guys know that I don't get into like things with gods or magic or anything like that, so it's just not really the type of book that I would normally pick up. But I feel like I'm so close to picking it up because so many of you guys have said that I'll like it. Another book that I'm thinking about bringing home is Nothing Like the Movies. I keep thinking about this one because I really like Better Than the Movies, but I've heard not so great reviews about this one. I also kind of want to get this one in orange. I'm so sad that there weren't really any books in Dollar General or Dollar Tree, like literally at all. There weren't any in Dollar Tree, because I feel like that would have been the perfect place to try to find some good books that were like different, not all the same type of vibe. Like, I feel like all these books are books I've seen 1,000,001 times. Like, literally, this is like just a book talk shelf, to be honest. Like, I feel like I've seen them so many times. But my niece actually said that she loved Bride, so part of me wants to bring this one home too. There are a lot on this little like shelf that I could bring home and be happy with. I've heard so many people love this series, and I read one book by this author. It was called Untying the Knot, and really enjoyed it, so I'm thinking about getting this book and starting this series. This special edition is so pretty. Oh my god, I saw this at Barnes like a while ago and forgot to show you guys. I love how it looks. I'm back in the car and I want to show you guys what I ended up getting. I got not too much stuff, but just enough. Like, I have not really been trying to just overbuy like Christmas stuff, so I feel like this was the perfect amount. I ended up getting this little Christmas candle. This is a Cypress and Santal from the Magnolia line, and it smells so good. It's literally the perfect mix between a Christmas tree and like a woody scent. I just know I'm gonna like use that all like season long. And then I also picked up this body cream from Way. It's one of my favorite body lotions. This and the Summer Fridays body lotion are probably my favorites. They're super hydrating, and I need that hydration in the winter time. And then I also got a book, of course, because I cannot leave without buying a book. And I picked up Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. Now, if you guys have been around for a while, you guys know that I read Flawless by Elsie Silver and was not obsessed with it. I think I just didn't like Rhett and Summer. Honestly, that was the biggest thing. The writing is very plain, but it's like one of those reads that I feel like you kind of go into and you just want something cutesy and fun. But I did not like Rhett and I didn't like Summer, which are the main characters in Flawless. So I bought this book, and should I have bought it? Probably not, because I own Heartless and the rest of the Chestnut Springs series. So I could easily read those. But I feel like I need to read a book outside of that series to get like invested into her like storyline, because I just don't have a ton of confidence that I'm gonna like the Chestnut Springs series. But I've heard so many people love this book, so I'm gonna try to read this one. It looks like it'll be a super fast read too, even though there's a lot of pages. It's like just has lots of dialogue. It's broken up really well, so I feel like this one will be really fun. feel like I'm the queen of bringing my books outside, but it is actually cold. Like, it is so cold. I don't even know what the temperature is right now. It is like windy, and I definitely should have brought a cardigan. I think because the sun's not out, it is just making it so much colder because it is cold. It is cold. How am I gonna survive this winter? Like, I just literally don't know, but I'm gonna take you guys down by the water because I'm gonna read for a little bit over there. I just thought it would be kind of fun. I haven't gotten super far into this. I only read a little bit last night. I'm only like 25 pages in, but I definitely want to get into it a little bit more. I don't know if I'll finish it in this video, but I definitely want to be able to give like a solid review of like how far I've gotten in the book by the time we finish this vlog. So let's go down by the water. It's so perfect. It's giving the best fall vibes. Came home to my Instacart order on my porch, which is perfect because I actually have the roast inside, so we can take this in and finish it. We are now in our third week of just like eating differently, and the first 2 weeks we did straight carnivore, so it was like literally just like meat or anything that came from an animal, and now we're adding in vegetables this week, and the next week we're adding in fruits. And so I feel like the thing that I'm like most excited about is to see what does not react well with our body. We have so many like things that we love to eat, but there really isn't a time in most adults' lives where they like really go through every single thing that they're eating to see like, hey, is this making me inflamed? Like, is this making me not feel good? So it's super funny. We actually went to breakfast, Brady and I did, on Sunday, and when we went, we got a omelet, and it was like our first time having like onions and like, you know, spinach and that kind of stuff in it. But I got mine without cheese because we haven't been doing cheese. Like, we've been doing milk, eggs, like that kind of dairy. We haven't done cheese just because I think I was telling you guys yesterday that it's hard to get cheese that is like not super like, I don't know, over processed. And we've been trying to stay away from like super processed food while we're doing this, just to see, like, I'm 32. Like, my body is so much different than it used to be. Like, I will drink something and be like, ooh, like immediately I can feel the difference in my body. And I think that this has made me realize, one, I eat way too much sugar, and I never was someone who really, like, I didn't have like dessert every night, like, you know, ice cream every night. Like, I wasn't someone who I felt like I ate a lot of sugar, but I have actually felt like a drug addict while like doing this whole like meal thing. Because, and obviously I don't know what that feels like, but my assumption is that it feels similar to this, because I'm having the hardest time letting go of sugar. Like, I haven't had sugar for 2 weeks, but I wake up in the morning and I'm like, ooh, I want something sweet. Like, I want a donut, and I don't even eat that stuff. But I think it's because we don't realize how addicting sugar is and how much it's really in like everything. So like the meats and stuff that we're eating, like, we're not eating sugar. And so my body is like really getting a full detox from that. And it's been so hard. So hard, like just so freaking hard. We have like a birthday party for our niece coming up this Saturday, and we were like, so are we gonna eat cake? Are we not? And Brady's like, oh, I probably will. And I think I'm not going to, just because I really want to see what my body is like with like a full month without sugar, because like sugar's in your creamer. Sugar's in so much stuff. Now I will say I've had milk and there is sugar in milk, but I think that's the only thing that I've had with sugar in it. And it's not like I'm drinking like a gallon a day, you know? So it's like a very minimal amount, but I just realized how much sugar is in so much stuff. Like I was buying some salsa the other day. I think I put it up, but I was buying some salsa the other day. And when I was looking at the salsas, because, you know, obviously you can have salsa now because it is, you know, tomatoes and stuff, and literally the only thing in here, tomato, onion, jalapeno peppers, vinegar, spices, and salt. I was looking on here, I was like, okay, how much sugar is in this one? This one has 1 gram of sugar, and it has, I think, like it says 3 carbs. But, and I haven't really been tracking carbs, but I have been more aware of them, because I also didn't realize how much I unintentionally just like eat things with like tons of sugar, tons of carbs, tons of processed stuff. So, and none of those things are bad. Like I never really talk about like health stuff because I have like come from a very disordered eating way of thinking. Like all throughout high school, college, I had very disordered eating. So I was never able to track anything. It was just really bad. And now I'm at a very healthy place where I can like really holistically look at my body differently than I used to, and it doesn't feel like punishment, and I never want anything to feel like punishment, whether I'm eating sugar or carbs or like meat, chicken, whatever. And I think just having the awareness has made a huge difference, because when I went from having like a really disordered mindset with food, where I like restricted myself, didn't want to eat, was like, you can only have this many calories a day, like that kind of thing. Then I really got into fitness and stopped counting anything, because if I started to count anything, I would get into that spiral again. And so then last year I started counting like my protein and checking to see like if I was getting enough food each day, which I realized I was not. And it's because I had this mindset of like, you need to have salads every day. Like you need to have like a little bit of something, like you can't eat a lot. And so even working through that, I realized like I was not eating enough, especially because I was like heavy lifting in the gym. So then I started getting more protein. I'm like, well, what else is my body not getting enough of? And so I really started like just looking into my food and stuff like that. And that's kind of where like this whole journey has like come from, which is wild because I'm 32 and like just kind of like figuring things out. But this has 1 gram of sugar, but there was other salsa by the same brand, but it was just different types. Like there was a habanero salsa, this is their Mexican salsa, but there's a habanero salsa, there was a corn salsa with like little corn in the inside. There was like a pineapple salsa, like all kinds of different salsas. And I was looking and all the sugars were different. And I was like, oh, this is probably because this one has pineapple in it, this one has corn. And like, just being aware of things like that, I never would have thought about before, but now just having like the awareness, I feel like it's just been really good for me. And so yeah, anyway, I picked up this one, but I am so excited because we have fruits now, and not fruits, we have vegetables, and then next week we're gonna do fruit. I wanted to do fruit the 4th week because I feel like when I eat fruit, I'm gonna just be fiending for sugar. So I wanted to kind of get like the furthest without having like a ton of sugar. Like really the only sugar I'm eating is like milk, or having is milk, and getting as further from that as possible so my body can like really see what it's like without it. I have noticed that, and I don't think this is necessarily from sugar, but from changing what I've eaten, I was never someone who could sleep through the whole night. Like I would wake up at like 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. and just like wake up, and then I would go to the bathroom or something and then go back to sleep. And I've always been a very light sleeper. Y'all, I am knocked out. When I go to bed, I am knocked out all night. Like all night. Like, and if I wake up, like if I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I'm like just dragging my body out like to get up. And it's because like, for one, I'm full, but I feel like my body is like not getting that sugar spike that I know can happen a lot in like the middle of the night. Especially if you eat like food really late at night, which I feel like I've always been the type to kind of like munch on a little thing like here and there. And you don't realize like the sugar that is in the stuff that you eat. And so if I'm like having something super sugary right before bed, which was pretty typical for me. And it wasn't even like I was eating like a candy bar or anything. It would be trying to think of something that like has sugar, but I can't think of anything, but something that you wouldn't be as like sweets, but it was something that had sugar in it. Like obviously this only has 1 gram of sugar, but like the other salsas had like sugar, things like that. And not saying sugar is bad. Like I never, as I'm like sharing this, I always feel so apprehensive to talk about anything, but I'm sharing what I'm learning about my body. I'm not telling anyone to do anything with their body. I know so many people have different like health like restrictions or things that they like have tried that haven't worked for them or have worked for them. Like I tried cycle syncing. This is when I like really started getting, again, like very focused on my body. Tried cycle syncing, did not work for me. Like literally, I was like doing like 1 week where like in the luteal phase, I was like doing certain workouts and like so on, like different phases of the week, I would do different types of workouts that like were supposed to work well with my period cycle. Did not work for me at all. Like literally did not work for me at all, but I know so many people it does work for them. So again, I never like want to put any pressure on like you to feel like what I'm saying is like what you should do. I'm just sharing what I'm learning about my body, which is crazy because I'm 32 and learning about my body. Like that is weird to me, but like you don't really get a ton of education about like stuff like this except for like in high school really. Like I feel like in college like we didn't have any like classes with stuff like this, and so you have a huge gap in your life where you're not learning about your body, and then you're just scrolling on like TikTok and Instagram and like everyone's like don't eat this, and like for a while I was like okay, I don't want to drink milk, I want to only drink oat milk because oat milk is like better for you, so then I would drink oat milk, and then I would start seeing all these videos that are like oh, well, don't drink oat milk because it like spikes your sugar. So like you should drink this instead. So like there is tons of information, and I think the information that we get is applicable to someone. Like someone needs to drink oat milk in the morning. Someone needs to drink like uncured cow milk or whatever the heck that has like the clumps and stuff that you gotta strain out. Somebody needs to drink that first thing in the morning. Like everyone has the different things that they need for their body. And I feel like so many of us don't learn what those are, and we just like listen to someone else and we're like, oh, like I'll do that because they said that I should do that. But I'm learning that like, again, everyone's body is different, so you should try what works for you. So yesterday we went to get breakfast. Long story long. Brady got cheese in his omelet. And that man was in the bathroom like almost the rest of the day, but it was like shredded cheese. And it's just wild how like we haven't had any cheese for 2 weeks, but incorporating cheese back into what we're eating, and that's the only thing that was different about our meals. We both had omelets, like we both had the exact same like meal except for he had cheese in his omelet and I did not. And I was like, dang, I should have got cheese. Like I haven't had cheese in this like whole time. Like, and he was like, yeah, we haven't, but like, you know, it is a dairy product, so like we can add it. I was like, yeah, that's true. And I was like, dang, I should have got cheese. But now I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get cheese because I did not want to be in the bathroom like that. He was like, oh, like this is rough. So I don't know, it's just really exciting to see how I have the power to like change my body and how it feels. I feel like growing up, I always would just feel like it was normal to be like bloated, or like in college, it's like, oh, that's normal to like wake up and be bloated all day, or to have this problem or that problem or whatever. And like, I've just started doing so many things and I'm like, oh, it's not normal to feel like that. Like I had, I think I've been going to the chiropractor for like 2 years now. When I first went, my whole back was so tense all the time. And I always just felt like, oh, well, most people probably have like a really tight back because like all of us like sit and like work on a computer, laptops and stuff. No, that is not normal. And now that I've been going for 2 years and I've seen x-rays of like how my neck and all that stuff has just like totally changed, the issue that I was having was my neck, because I work on my phone and my laptop, I look down all the time and you can feel it in the back of your neck. There's like, a lot of people have like tech neck and it's like a little hump at the back of your neck. But looking down, it was like straining my back so much, and I could literally see in like this x-ray where my neck was just like so, it looked wild, like it was bad. And that was radiating down my back, through my shoulder and my arm. And it's wild now because I'm so in tune with my body that when I have my head down, like straight down like this for too long, usually it'll be like a day or two that it starts to like kind of hurt, but I can feel it in my arm and I can feel it all down my back. But I never would have known that if I hadn't like looked into it. So if you're having pain somewhere, or if your body's feeling off, like that's not normal. So play around with things, like try different things. Like it's not gonna hurt you to like mess around with the food that you're eating and, you know, do something different than you've done. Because if you keep doing the same thing you've done, like nothing, like you're gonna continue to feel the way that you feel, you know? So anyway, that is my long story, but I ended up getting a cucumber, I got 2 zucchinis, I got some asparagus. I'm gonna probably have this like with our steak. I love vegetables so much, I miss them so much. And this was something that we always planned to like add back in. We never were like, oh, we're gonna do this like for life. Like we just wanted to eliminate things to figure out like what is messing us up. And there are times like, and we haven't like, we've just been so like loving how we feel right now. So now that we know how we can feel, like not feeling bloated, having so much more energy, like we do not get that 3 p.m. slump at all anymore. Like, and it's not that we're even going to bed early. Like there have been nights where we went to bed later than we normally go to bed, and like we wake up at 5 a.m. and we do not get that 3 p.m. slump. And I don't know if that's the sugar or if that's like the heavy like gluten or carbs or what, but we'll find out because we're just adding things back in. So I know this is like a long chat about food, but I've just been so excited because like no one tells you this kind of stuff. And got an onion, and it's been cool to like figure out, you know, what my body loves and what it doesn't. Got some onions, or not onions, some peppers, and cauliflower, 2 bags of carrots, and that's all I got. I didn't want to like buy too much and then it like go bad, so I think this is probably what I'm going to use this week, and then maybe get some more like for next week or something. But yeah, I think that I'm going to just put this stuff up and then read a little bit more. Finish this book in 24 hours, just like I thought I would. I think I knew I would finish this because her writing is super fast paced. Like so much happens in her stories, but also all of her characters are so like, just like dramatic and like heartfelt. Like her books are just like that, and I feel like that's what I eat up every time. I will say I've never found a 5-star read of hers, but this is my 6th book I'm pretty sure that I finished of hers, and I think there's one book that was 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was The Coldest Winter, but I've also read The Mixtape, I've read now The Silent Waters, I've read The Air He Breathes, I've read The Fire Between High and Low, I read The Holidates, I read, did I count The Coldest Winter? I can't remember. Yeah, so I've read, I think this is 6. Yeah, I read 6 books. and loved every single one of them. Like none of them except for that one has been under 4 stars. Her books are just so good. If you like a small town romance, if you like Archer's Voice, if you read Archer's Voice and liked Archer's Voice, like it kind of gives that small town, like dramatic feel where it's like, you know, someone is like crying in the rain, or like, you know, they usually meet at childhood, or like they've known each other's families for a long time. Like a lot of the stories have similar aspects, but they're all very different. But I love that they have like small towns are like a large part of what kind of like links them all. I will say the characters in this book, The Air He Breathes, and The Fire Between High and Low are not Black, but the characters in The Holidates and the mixtape are Black. Oh, I've read The Disgrace too by her. I forgot. So I've read 7 books by her. Oh my gosh, that is wild. And then she has The Problem with Players, that series. The characters are Black. So she does kind of a mix between the two, but if you're specifically looking for like a Black author who's writing Black characters, she definitely does that. You just have to like pick the specific book because she writes tons of different types of characters, which is cool because it's just nice to see her have like a very well-rounded, like, what's it called? Breadth of people that she writes about. I will say that usually when I look to read from Black authors, I'm usually looking to read about like Black people to like relate specifically to things that like maybe we both go through. But again, the stories are always so good. If you've never read anything by her, please pick up one of her books. Her books are very fast paced. Again, remind me of Natasha Bishop's writing, and they also are super like dramatic, like super dramatic. You have to be in the mode of like Hallmark movie soap opera dramatic vibes, but I eat that up on a cozy night like tonight. Like you saw, I made my soup, like, you know, it's just cozy nights like this. I want people to be like screaming, crying, kissing in the rain. That's what I look for. I also feel like she writes a lot of like broody guys. Like Brooks in this is super broody. He's super like elusive, like that kind of thing, but they love hard and they love deep. I also feel like if you read Love You Always by Lauren Lacey, where is this book? I don't have it over here because I actually am filming a video where the book is in it, but if you have read that book, her books kind of remind me of that too. Like they're messy, the characters are sometimes like really immature, but like dramatic. It's just good, and I feel like those are the types of books that I finish in 24 hours because something always happens. Like something always happens. I will say I have this entire series here. It's a special edition series. This is the Compass series. I cannot wait to start these. I have all 4 of them. I got these from the Last Chapter bookstore. They had like a special edition like cover that you could buy. These were definitely pricey, but I also have The Gravity of Us, which is the book that comes after this one, which I think I showed you guys yesterday. And I have The Problem with Players. Let me show you guys those. So I have The Problem with Players and The Problem with Dating, which this is an interracial romance, and then this is Black Love. These are her newest books. Like she just came out with these not too long ago. But she's truly one of my favorite authors, and I think it's genuinely because she like keeps you hooked from start to finish, and her books are fast paced. If I had to pick 3 like Black authors specifically that were my favorite, I'd probably pick Kennedy Ryan for like the deep, heartfelt reads, Natasha Bishop for like the culture or like the vibes, and Brittany Cherry for like the drama, the mess, like that kind of thing. Those would probably be my top 3, but it's honestly hard to choose because it really depends on my mood, like what I'm looking for. But I think just for diverse reads specifically, those are probably my top 3. Anyone who's read Kennedy Ryan and like loves her lyrical like stories, but maybe is like, oh, I love like reading Elsie Silver's books, or love reading Colleen Hoover, love, you know, like the cutesy reads that aren't super like deep usually, but they're like really fun. I feel like those are the people that I'm like, you have to pick up Brittany Cherry's books because they're just so good. So anyway, really enjoyed that book. I'm definitely gonna be reading more from her. I feel like her books I binge literally in 24 hours, and I've read 7 of them, and I just started reading her books last year. Like my first book of hers was The Holidates, and I read The Holidates like around this time. I think it was like November, December or something of last year. So in 1 year, I've read 7 books from this woman. Like, that just goes to show I love her books. Again, the writing isn't super deep, but the stories are fast paced, they're quick, you'll finish them super fast. Even though they're like 300 pages, you will finish them so fast. They're very like dramatic. Characters are sometimes immature, but they love hard. Like those are just the types of reads that I need. Like anything that's like a Hallmark vibe, that's what I want in this season. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun with it. I've been trying to add in more like of my like daily life into vlogs, and I feel like you guys have been liking that. This channel actually used to be like a full vlog channel, like only vlogs. If you go back to my old videos, like literally I just would like, you know, go to the store, like make food, just like talk, like whatever. And then it kind of like switched to, well, first it was like fashion, then it was vlogs, then it switched to obviously books now. And I feel like so many of you guys are loving like me sharing bits of my life too. I'm thinking about doing Vlogmas. Okay, I'm not thinking, I'm going to do Vlogmas, but I'm trying to decide if I want to do 12 days or 24 days. This will be my 5th year, I think, doing Vlogmas, and every single year I've done 24 days. But I know you guys love the long vlogs too, and I love the long vlogs. They're honestly my favorite. It allows me to just like chat, kiki, just like I don't have to feel filtered where I have to like stop at a certain time, whereas before I feel like I would always have to be like, oh, this video can't be longer than this. Like, I don't wanna like bore people. Now I'm just like, y'all are in it for the long haul. Like, you guys are watching these hour-long videos, and I love that. But I want to do like videos for Vlogmas, but I just can't decide if I want to do 24 or 12. And if I do 12, should I do like 12 long ones, or should I do 24 short ones, or do 24 mix of short and long, or 12 short ones? Like, I don't know. So let me know your thoughts. Vlogmas, if you don't know, or Bookmas, I guess I should say, is like a month where most people who are like booktubers or YouTubers will post videos every single day during the month of December. And again, I've done 24 days every single year, never missing a day. Like, I am one person who, one, I am extremely disciplined, but also two, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So I don't wanna be like, yeah, we're gonna do 24 days. And I'm like, actually, I don't wanna do that. What I'm leaning towards is like, and it's hard because I want to do both. I want to do 24 videos, like I want to, but I also want to have long videos because those are my favorite. So I don't know if I can like actually do long like hour long or like 45-minute long videos for 24 days straight. Like, I just don't know if that's even possible, because this is my busy season too. And you guys like don't see a lot of ads here because sister is over on Instagram and TikTok. Like, that's where I make like my income. Like, I'm a full-time creator, but like we make the bucks over there. So I don't know. I just am trying to decide like what's best, but I want to hear you guys' feedback. So comment what you guys would prefer. What do you like to watch for Bookmas or Vlogmas? Do you like videos for 12 days? Do you like videos for 24 days? Do you like long videos, short videos? Let me know your preference. I would love, love, love to hear your feedback because I'm really having a hard time deciding what I want to do. And I feel like hearing what you guys would like is also gonna help like encourage me to do one thing or the other. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.